Hi there, USBGF friends. This is Phil Simborg, USBGF Teaching Pro, with a tip of the day. Here is a position that came up in today's chouette, which is a money game here in Chicago. And it's a money game, blue to play 6-3. Think for a minute and decide what you would do with 6-3 here. Well, the two plays that jump out at me is to play 15 to 6 safely, not leaving any direct shots. Or, of course, with 6-3, you make the bar, which looks pretty strong, but if you make the bar, you're leaving him a direct 1 and 3 to hit you. So the positives of making the bar are pretty obvious. You want to drop this last checker, but the negatives of maybe getting hit can be pretty serious. What do you think is right? Okay, well, over the board, the player in our chouette got this wrong, and it's clearly right to make the bar. It's a 24% error not to. You win the game 52% of the time as opposed to 43% of the time. You win more gammons by making the bar. You actually lose fewer gammons by leaving that double shot. You lose gammons, oh I'm sorry, you do lose gammons a little bit more by making the bar, about 4% more. But you win the game a lot more, and you don't lose that many more gammons compared to the number of games that you win. It's the best play by far. Let's see what it looks like. I hit final, and it shows you what this looks like. First of all, he might not roll a 1 or a 3 and hit you at all, in which case you've got a very strong game. If he rolls a 1 or a 3, it better be with a 3 or 4 to cover. Even if he covers with a 5, that's not so bad. And even if he does hit and cover, you've got 1s and 3s to come in. He's still got to get this back checker out, which is going to be much more difficult now. Look at the other play. The other play, what have you got going for you? What's going to happen? If he rolls any 6, he's running. 6-3, he's hitting you. 6-4, he comes to here, and you better hit him back immediately. Or a 6-5, he escapes. Even if he comes up with a 3, you've got a triple shot at him, but you're not always going to point on him, and you stacked up your checkers here. You just don't have a pretty position to bring forward. So we know the right play because we know Extreme Gammon is better than any player in the world, and we know it's very accurate, especially at plus, and we know this play is obvious. But did you really understand when you saw the play and you saw the answer why you win more games and why this is right? A lot of times I don't. This position I honestly wasn't sure. It's a huge error to make the wrong play. I think I would have made the right play over the board. I was still thinking about it, but I'm pretty sure I would have made the right play. But there are plays that were worse than this that I've missed or haven't been sure of. And the answer isn't to roll it out. If you roll it out and you hit the rollout button, all it's going to do is improve these numbers. It's going to play it out, and it doesn't really show you anything. The way you get smart and the way you learn and understand positions is to play them out yourself. In the old days, before we had bots, that was the only way to find anything out. Players would argue about a position, and they would set it up on a board, and they would play the game out over and over for hours and hours. They maybe get 200 or 300 games under their belt and see which one won more and why, because they get to see how it plays. Well, Extreme Gammon does all that for you, and now you don't learn a darn thing. You really don't understand why the pretty position or the pure position of making points in a row is better. So here's what you do. Hit Control-C if you're playing with Extreme Gammon. That saves the position. Go to Setup. By the way, I'll put it back on the initial. Go to Setup and play from this position and play it out 5, 6, 7, 8 times, making the right play. Then play it out 5, 6, 7, 8 times, making the wrong play, and see if you can clearly see why, after a few rolls, it's obvious that the right play works better more often. If you can't see it, or you happen to have an anomaly and play a few games where it went the wrong way, then maybe you got to play it out 10 or 20 or 30 times. And the other thing you can do is when you do the setup to play from position, setup, play from position, if you want to, you can have Extreme Gammon play Extreme Gammon and just watch it play out itself. So the first step is to try and figure out what the right play is and use your reasoning. See what Extreme Gammon says. If it disagreed with your play, see if you can figure out why Extreme Gammon made that play, and see if you can come up with the reasoning. And then thirdly, if you can't, then play it out a few times and you'll get a much better understanding of the play. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your backgammon. Bye-bye.